Hey gamers, today we're going to look at citrus. Let's check it out. Okay, so to set up the game, what you're going to do is you're going to randomly place out these little land tokens here, and they all look like that. They match the emblem on the board. You'll just randomly distribute them out. They can give you different things in the game, and all that is discussed in the book if you want to see the icons. I will make a note here that I do have the mini expansion out, so tokens like this one and this one you can get in the mini expansion. I just put them out here because I just included that in my base set. Now, you will have some random Finca tiles here that you'll be putting out on the board. You'll be drawing them from a bag. You're actually drawing the little land tokens from a bag too, and just randomly put them out. So they have plenty in the game. So there's going to be a lot of different scenarios going out, a lot of replayability with that. You're also going to draw some Finca tiles, and you're going to put them on the A, B, C, and D to start off, and then you're going to grab some of these land tokens here, and you're going to put randomly 3 of them out on the board, and that just indicates where the next Fincas could be. Now, this game plays up to 5 players. Each player would get like a little player board like so. You'll have 5 starting workers. You'll start at $6, as you see here. This little token here indicates how much money you have on your money tracker there. And of course you have another little man right here on the 0. He is going to be the score counter here. So how do you play this game? Well, it's very simple. You have 2 actions that you can do. The first one is, of course, buy something from the market here. Now, how you buy something from the market is, again, very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to pay the amount of coins as you purchase them by row, either vertically or horizontally, whichever one you want. So, for instance, this row cost me $3. However, if I just want to go vertically and buy these 2, that would only cost me $2. So, if I went, let's say, horizontally here, and I just went, all right, these 2, I would knock myself down $2, and then I would plant these around some of the open Fincas. Now, the rule here goes that you plant one on any of the 4 little exits, and the board will show you there's little exits here on the Fincas here, and so I could plant one there, and then I have to take one of my people from my player board and place it there to show that is mine. Now, I could plant this one here as well if I wanted to, or maybe plant it here and put another man there. You always have to put a man there. Now, what would happen later on, let's say, if I grabbed maybe 2 more later on? I mean, maybe I grabbed, let's say I grabbed this row here. Well, what I could do is I could not place this one here. Another player couldn't, because you can't have the same colored Finca in the same Finca. So green can't go here. If I was this player, I could add on to my land there, and it wouldn't require me to put another man there. Only on new colors would it. But see, these other 2 aren't new, so I could put one maybe here and keep removing people. Now, of course, that one, buying all that would have cost me another 3 or 4 or something. And let's say I get down to 0. So what's another thing you can do? Maybe when you run out of money or you run out of men, what do you do now? Well, eventually, you're going to have to peel one of these guys off. It's called harvesting. So instead of buying something from the market, you harvest. And how you harvest is you take one of your men off the board and place them back into your home base. Now, when you do that, there is actually little icons here that tell you how much money you will receive, and of course you'll be planting them from left to right, and so you'll be getting more money the more you bring home, and that's how you can generate income. Now, at the same time, when you're doing that, you're also getting points. You're going to get 1 point for every tile, but 2 points if it has a little pond token by it. So in that case, I would have made 3 points, so 1, 2, 3 on the board. Now, how does a Finca, score? A Finca scores when all the surrounding area around it has been filled. So let's say I'm going to put another one here too. Let's say that this finca has scored here, because it is, well, we have to have one here. By the way, if you were to ever cover, like if someone were to play something over that token, they would actually get that token and get that reward. In this case, it would be 3 coin. Sometimes they can be victory points, sometimes they can be other things, you know, like I said, the book will tell you. But when a finca is completely surrounded like we see here, let me just place a few other players here, then it would score. And how you would score is you would add up the number of tokens that they have. So green player has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yellow player has 3. Red player has 2. So in this case, green player would receive 9 points, and the yellow player, since it had 3 connected to this one, would get 6. Now, if there was a tie, okay, let's say there was a tie. Let's say green had to harvest before that thing scored, and this is how it ended up, just like this. So in this case, a 3-on-3 tie, that means they would both get the first place, they both get 9 points, and red would get nothing. So that's kind of how it works in the event of a tie. Now, what you're going to do, if ever the tile area here gets down to 3 tiles or less, so for instance, let's say these were the only 2 left, well then you'd have to do a few things. First off, you'd reach in the bag and you'd grab some more of these to put down on the board, but you're also going to get to place a finca, and whoever bought that last row will get to place this finca here. They'll flip it over and they get to play it in one of these 3 areas. So whichever one they choose, let's say they choose here. Okay, and then what you would do, you discard that and you take the next one up, flip it over, it says K. So then I'd find K on the board, there it is. So that means the next time the tiles run low, the new finca could be placed here, here, or here. So that's how the game's going to go. Now, I will say this, you can also connect your land by 2 fincas and save yourself the trouble. For instance, let's say yellow player put their green finca here. Well, there's not another green one here, so that's a good spot for it. And look, they're connecting this and this. So they'll score on both of those as long as they don't remove this man and harvest. Once you harvest, you can't put a man just back out there. Now, I will say something else, that this is the 2 to 3 player board. On the other side of this, there are more squares opened up for a 4 to 5 player game. And of course, whoever has the most points by the end of all those tiles being placed is the winner. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? Well, I played this game at BGG SpringCon last year and I had a lot of fun with it, but one of the things I hated about the game was that there weren't enough tiles. It seems like the game just kind of ended before we could get to the last fincas. And then I saw this game on clearance last year. I said, well, you know what? I'll pick it up. I still like the game, but I just wish it had more tiles. Only to find out that my copy at BGG SpringCon didn't have enough tiles. Now that was a wonderful surprise because this is a wonderful game. It is very, very, very simple to play and easy to teach. When I brought this out to my board game group for the first time, they're like, ugh, the cover doesn't look that exciting, the board doesn't look that exciting. I get it. But once after the first round they got it, they're like, oh, okay. You only have 2 actions, and you do have to debate, what do I want to do? Can I win this finca? Because if not, I'm eventually going to have to pull one of my workers off. And then you're trying to slice up those rows. Which rows are best for me? Because I don't want to spend any more guys, or I need more money, so I got to pull some people already. Arg! There's a lot of great strategy in this game too, and with all the tiles mixing up, the finca's always difference in victory points. There's a million different situations you can have in this game that I really enjoy. Now I should mention that on the flip side, the 4 to 5 player game, that has certain areas where you cannot build unless you get one of those bridge tokens that will hopefully pop up in the game. But anyway, other than that, great game, well worth your time, love it. All right folks, that's it for now. See you next time. Until then, game on.